Hey everyone, Nintendo gave us our first glimpse at the next Mario Kart game featuring 24 players on the track at once. And that got me thinking, what about guest characters? I'm not talking about the usual Mario cast or any newcomers, we'll cover that in another video. I'm talking about the awesome guest characters that we saw in Mario Kart 8 and Deluxe. I'll be sharing my thoughts on whether guest characters could join the new roster if Nintendo decides to go that route again. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on all things Mario Kart. Now let's get right into it. So will guest characters return? I thought it was really cool to see Animal Crossing, Splatoon, and The Legend of Zelda get representation in Mario Kart 8, but will Nintendo do it again? The new art style could fit guest characters really well, but part of me thinks guest characters might remain exclusive to Mario Kart 8. It felt like a special celebration of Nintendo's wider universe, but now that we're seeing an evolution of the game, they might want to refocus on the core Mario characters. On the other hand, Nintendo could see the success of guest characters and decide to expand on it even more. What do you think? Will they return, or was it a one-time deal? So another question is, how many guest characters? If they do return, how many should Nintendo include? In Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, we had 7 guest characters if you count alternate versions separately. You had Villager Boy and Girl, Isabelle, Inkling Boy and Girl, and 2 versions of Link, the OG Tunic and the Breath of the Wild version. If Nintendo decides to bring them back, they'll need to strike a balance. Too many characters and it starts feeling more like a Nintendo Kart rather than Mario Kart. I think 8 guest characters with 1 alternate choice would be the perfect number, just enough to keep it exciting without overshadowing the Mario cast. Let's break down my picks for guest characters. Number 1, Kirby. Kirby is an easy pick and a fan favorite. His goofy, fun-loving personality and charming animations would fit perfectly with this new art style. Plus, imagine racing with his Warp Star, gliding through the tracks in true Kirby fashion. Not to mention, Kirby's rich history with racing games like Kirby Air Ride makes him a natural fit for the roster. Number 2, Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic is practically best friends with Mario thanks to the Olympic Games series. Sure, he's super fast, but they could balance that by making him use a cart instead of running. They could bring in his cart from Team Sonic Racing. The relationship between Nintendo and Sega is strong and growing, so why not add him to Mario Kart? Sonic would add an exciting dynamic to the game, and let's be honest, who wouldn't want to see him zooming past Bowser and Yoshi? Number 3, Link. We've already seen Link in Mario Kart 8, but I think they should go with the Link's Awakening version this time. The art style would work perfectly, making him look right at home alongside Mario and friends. The Legend of Zelda series is a staple for Nintendo, and this version of Link with his charming toy-like design would make for a fantastic addition. Number 4, Princess Zelda. It's time Zelda steps into the spotlight. She should get her own spot on the roster and not just an alternate for Link. With her new design from Echoes of Wisdom, she'd bring an elegance and a fresh feel to the track. Nintendo has always centered the games around her legend, and I believe she deserves to finally take the wheel and join the other major Nintendo princesses. Number 5, our one and only alternate choice, Isabelle and Tom Nook. Animal Crossing was in Mario Kart 8, but I think it still deserves some solid representation, and who better than Isabelle and Tom Nook? Isabelle is already an iconic Nintendo character, and Tom Nook is a right-hand man, so it makes him a perfect fit to be alongside her. They could share the same slot, similar to Villager Boy and Girl in 8 Deluxe. They even made it where their stats are different even though they share the same slot. Plus, their cheerful animations would be a great addition. Imagine Tom Nook tossing bells behind him as an item. Number 6, Pac-Man. Pac-Man has already appeared in Mario Kart arcade games, so why not bring him into the main home console series? He fits perfectly within Nintendo's family-friendly branding and could have a variety of fun animation involving pellets and Ghost. Miss Pac-Man could even be an alternate skin, adding even more nostalgia to the game. Though, there is a possibility they just want to keep him tied to the arcade games, but in the end, this would be an easy guest character to add. Number 7, Samus. This one's a bit wild, but adding Samus would be an amazing cross-promotion for Metroid Prime 4. Nintendo did it with Link for Breath of the Wild, so why not Prime 4? Her inclusion would bring a cool sci-fi vibe to the game, and Nintendo could have a really fun time designing a sleek, futuristic kart inspired by her gunship. They could even add her arm cannon as a fun gimmick, perhaps as a visual effect when using items, or maybe even as an item itself. Now I just want to give an honorable mention to Captain Falcon. I love Captain Falcon, but I think the odds of him joining the roster are very slim. We've already had F-Zero tracks, Big Blue and Mute City, plus a signature kart in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and he still wasn't added as a playable character. As much as I'd love to see him, if Nintendo doesn't add these tracks back or even make a new F-Zero track, I believe his chances of joining are pretty much little to none. Now it's time for the final pick. The most requested guest character to return is R.O.B. We last saw him in Mario Kart DS, and it's time for his grand return. R.O.B was such a fun and quirky character with unique driving animations and sound effects that made him stand out. Don't get me started on how bringing back his iconic R.O.B LGS kart, aka R.O.B.'s legs, would be an amazing nostalgic touch and a welcome addition to this new game. So even if there are no guest characters in the next game, please make an exception for R.O.B just like you guys did for Mario Kart DS. So there you have it, my top picks for guest characters for the next Mario Kart game. Of course, we have no idea if guest characters return at all, but if they do, I'd love to see some of these faces on the track. So what do you think? Leave a comment down below what guest characters you would like to see. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope to see you on the next one. Look out.